am joined by Mississauga realtor Lawrence Mak, and we're going to talk about the July real estate numbers in Toronto that were just released yesterday, fresh off the press. Lawrence, tell me 3 words to describe Toronto real estate in July.
Thanks, Chris. The 3 words I'd go for is the good, the bad, and the ugly.
All right, I like that. Nice and simple. Well, I got to ask you then, what was good about it? Do you have some numbers to share?
Yeah, I do. Give me a second. Let me share it out.
Right on.
Awesome. Well, the good is that the real estate market has been booming. Obviously, it depends on which side of the equation you're on, whether it's good or bad. If your buyer is not as great. But in terms of the numbers, sales last year, 11,081 sales. That's up 30% from last year. The average price is $944,000, which is up 17% from last year. And even condos average $683,000, which is up 9% from last year. So it's really been very, very good. Main reason for that is because, best as we could tell, all the March, April, and May volume that would have normally gone through, but because it was shut down a bit because of COVID, seems to be backlogged, and now it's like coming out in June and July.
Right. And you can see that trend from the previous year. It looks like we've kind of shifted everything over slightly. So what's in store for the future is the big question mark, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It's really hard to say whether or not this is kind of like the new fall market or just a stunted spring market, and then another fall market's going to go after that. No one has any idea. But right now, as it looks like, it's just really chugging along really quickly.
Got it. So that's the good if you're selling. I would imagine this is a double-edged sword. What happens if you're buying?
Yeah. So if you're buying, the bad news is there are no more deals. Typically, if you're looking for a balanced market, you want 4 to 6 months of inventory. What inventory means is that if no one else is listing any new houses, then that's how many months it'll take for you to go through the whole inventory. So typically 4 to 6 months is a balanced market. Right now, as you can see, most of the months of inventory are 2 months or less. And that just means it's a seller's market. And this is between all the different regions in the GTA, all the different types of houses, such as condo apartments, townhouses, semi-detached, detached. We're talking, these are the different areas: Peel, Durham, Halton, York. It's not as good for buyers. I mean, people who are looking for a super deal, it doesn't exist anymore. Maybe there's pockets once in a while, but we're talking, sale to list price, which means if someone listed for 800,000, you're pretty much selling at 800,000. Days on market, we're talking about 3 weeks or less. So that means within 2 or 3 weeks, the property is sold.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you gotta act fast if you're a buyer, and that's what we're seeing on our side with the mortgage.
Pretty much. Make sure you get pre-approved. Make sure you get all your paperwork ahead of time. Make sure you have your deposit check ready, and then when you find the place that you need, just go into it.
Yeah, absolutely. Unconditional offers on financing. No luxury of a conditional offer.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do that. It's a little easier usually in the detached realm, maybe around the 905. It's usually a little bit easier to put in some conditions, but on the multiple offer situations, again, it's like normal. You want to just go in really strong and really high.
Yeah. Well, so we got the good, we've got the bad. Talk to me about the ugly.
Really ugly stuff is the rental market. It's been a mess. It's a very difficult situation for everybody. There's been a new bill that was introduced, Bill 184. It changed a few of the laws, specifically increased the penalties for the landlords and a bunch of other stuff, and it didn't make it that favorable for the landlords. But similarly, for the tenants, they're also reopening the hearings so that you can start to evict again, and that's not great for the tenants. In terms of the statistics, number of leases, 7,320, which is down 25% from last year. Well, actually last quarter of last year, Q2. Yeah. And the average price, 3,393, which is down 6% from the same quarter from the previous year. So basically, the rental market has loosened up a little bit. Before, there were a lot of multiple offers in terms of the renters. Now it's a little bit easier for the renters, but still, it's really hard on both sides of the equation, because from the tenant point of view, maybe you've lost your job and you can't afford the rent anymore. But similarly, from a landlord point of view, if you don't get the rent coming in, you can't pay for your mortgage. And so everybody's not doing great.
Yeah, I know. I can imagine. And then compounding this, we have the issue of Airbnb tourism shutting down, so the Airbnbs aren't renting out. So now those are turning into long-term rentals. So the quantity of rentals must be way up as well, the volume and available listings.
Exactly. There's been articles where all of a sudden in a particular building, there's about 100 rentals going up, 100 listings. So because of the Airbnb, exactly what you said, there's a lot less tourism. And so because of that, the Airbnb owners now have to figure out what to do. Either they sell it or they got to convert it to a long-term rental situation, in which case the market is opening up a bit more for that so that there's more options for the different renters.
Right. Well, that certainly does sound ugly. So there we have it. The good, the bad, the ugly for the July real estate market. Lawrence, if somebody wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
Well, I should be all over social media, but you can find me at lawrencemak.com or you can call me anytime, 416-276-4895.
Thank you, Lawrence. And again, my name is Chris Mulder with Tridac Mortgage. If you need to get in touch with me, I'm just a phone call or a click away. See you soon. Thanks again, Lawrence, for joining us today.
Thanks, Chris. Talk to you soon.